Okay, so the battle between Rishi Sunak and Boris Johnson continued. A lot of distractions, smokes and mirrors everywhere. Rishi Sunak is going to take the inquiry into the lockdown days to court because he doesn't want to give out his messages. Boris Johnson is going to bypass the Cabinet Office and Rishi Sunak and give out his unredacted messages to the inquiry. But now we have something new. We have an audio clip from GETTR in his new podcast that he was the former advisor and friend to Boris Johnson. He's essentially leaked some new information. He's exposed some of the things that Boris Johnson has said about Rishi Sunak, and I can assure you, this stuff is very, very juicy. Watch this.
And another issue for him was the lack of oomph, as he saw it, in the Treasury. And I think that's when the tension between him and the then Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, who's now Prime Minister, of course, started to ramp up until it got to the point where it was basically untenable. If Rishi's a Thatcherite, let's have it, he moaned on one occasion, without any expectation, sadly, that he'd ever oblige. And on another, he just blew up. Fuck this shit, he said. We need to clear out the Treasury, begin anew as Singapore on the Thames. The department has basically become a bank manager. The computer just says no.
I agree with this. If Boris had said this, then absolutely. But the problem I have with politicians like Boris Johnson is even the benefit of the doubt. He really believed that and he really wanted to. He felt frustrated. Do something about it. Do something. You were still Prime Minister. He was only Chancellor. You're just completely shifting the blame. I do believe that Boris Johnson would have wanted, at least for the sake of his own popularity, to stay in power. He would have done the right policies, but he didn't because the man is a weak and feeble leader. And he was completely controlled by people around him. Now he's coming out to say all this stuff, and it's a bit too late. But I do agree with his views. I agree with his ideas.
We need, as Boris saw it, to get out of people's way. We're costing people too much, costing business too much. Government has become too expensive itself. Rishi, in his words, had signed too many checks, but got very little value for money. It was time for tax cuts, deregulation, and dynamism.
But you could have done it. You could have sacked him and do it.
Then there was this rare moment of open defiance from the Chancellor, who reminded the Prime Minister that it had been his vision to spend vast amounts of taxpayer funds on endless infrastructure projects.
That is a good point. It was Boris Johnson himself, in the name of levelling up, and then the green agenda, he kept spending and spending and spending. So it was right for him to be reminded that he was also not the Thatcherite that he was claiming to be.
On new hospitals, on extra cops, extra doctors, extra nurses, extra all kinds of things. And he used a very memorable phrase, "We had a song for a long time. Do we not want to sing it anymore?" And on that occasion, Rishi Sunak dug in, refused to come up with a growth plan, refused to cancel the planned hike in corporation tax, and insisted on hitting energy companies with a windfall levy that Boris didn't want to do.
Yep.
Blowing the money raised on cushioning the pain of tough times rather than setting out to cure the patient. And had the whole government not imploded shortly afterwards, I doubt the Chancellor.
Now, unfortunately, that's the last bit of the audio that we have. It is fascinating because from our basic analysis, you can tell that Boris Johnson was a sort of politician who would say, I had some good ideas. I would like to do this, but he didn't even bother trying. Then you had someone like Liz Truss, who was more vocal about it. She was slightly more upfront, straight talking. She said, I want to do it, and I will do it. She was just not very good at expectation management. She was not very good at knowing that everybody's going to come for you from all sides. Be prepared. They're going to bring you down. Don't be an idiot. Don't be incompetent as a leader. But so that's the whole issue. And then you have people like Rishi Sunak, who are just completely going out there, lying to the public, saying, yeah, I'm pro-small government, and I like low taxes, I'm a Thatcherite. But he's not even bothering. He's just completely lying directly to people. And this is exactly why a lot of people think, no matter what we think about Keir Starmer's agenda, considering Rishi Sunak and Jeremy Hunt are presenting the same agenda, then what's the point of voting Tory? Let's completely punish them in the next election and see what happens with if you go full on with social democracy as a government program, because we've already had it under Theresa May, Boris, Rashid, and everybody else. So what's the point? Now, let me know what you think. Do you think there is a bit of hope for comeback in British politics? Somebody, some party, some politician, or not? Maybe I should stand. I don't know. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.